I'm Robert.
Matt?
Heather?
Bill?
And I'm Claudia Calzaretta. Have you ever had an epiphany, woken up in the morning, had a revelation that this is not the path I want to be on? This isn't where I want to be in life? The definition here comes from an article called An Epiphany for Your Consideration, dated April 12th, 2016 by Arinda Mawat. And the photograph here of Goofy with the light bulb going off comes from an article from Pamela Baker titled Light Bulb Went Off with Goofy by the Birch Cottage, dated April 16th, 2015. Today I want to tell you the story about a young 18-year-old who had a revelation and decided to do something about it. This young lady is Maggie Doyne, and she's making a difference, one child at a time, in Nepal, helping children in poverty. According to Maggie on the Good Life Project podcast dated January 22nd, 2019, episode titled Maggie Doyne, Blink Now founder on a life of service, she is the CEO and co-founder of the Blink Now Foundation. And she used her babysitting money to purchase a plot of land in Nepal to help children in poverty. And the photograph right here of Maggie Doyne comes from Wikipedia. And the photograph here of the Blink Now Foundation comes from the Blink Now Foundation website. Wouldn't you agree that education is important? But not everyone starts out on a level playing field like us. Some people are born into poverty. In an article authored by Madhav Joshi and others titled Individual Level Data on the Victims of Nepal's Civil War, dated 1996 to 2016, a new data set, he says that Maggie arrived in Nepal 10 years after the Civil War ended, leaving Nepal in despair and in shambles, and leaving hundreds of thousands of children living in poverty and or orphaned. This map comes from the World Factbook 2020, the Central Intelligence Agency. If you're not familiar with Nepal, it's just above India and just below China. You might be familiar with Mount Everest, Kathmandu, and the Himalayas. That's Nepal. So according to the US Census Bureau of 2020, there are 7.6 billion people in the world today. And of those 6.6 billion people, 604 million of them are living in poverty. And in Nepal, there's 36 million people, and of those, 2.4 million live in poverty. And that's according to the World Data Lab. Maggie's not quite ready for college. In an article titled, Help Us Find 30 Awesome Social Entrepreneurs Under 30, Erin Carlisle states that Maggie approached her parents about taking a gap year right after high school. And what is a gap year? According to definition.com, a gap year is a period of time between high school and college that a person takes off and just gets away from the studies for a while sometimes to figure themselves out. So Maggie left and she started a gap year. And here's her picture where she's taking off. According to Ali Torgan in an article titled How Babysitting Money Planted a Seed to Help Nepali Children's Blossom, Maggie took off and went overseas, and she spent some time in a Buddhist monastery. She spent some time building a seawall in Fuji, and she spent some time in India. And there with a friend, they decided to go to Nepal. And this other picture here of Maggie is from an article titled Change the World in the Blink of an Eye, dated December 9, 2019. Another article, Erin Carlisle stated in the article titled Meet Maggie Doyne, Forbes Excellence in Education winner, Mommy to 40. Maggie arrived in Nepal in 2006 with her friend. And she was walking across a dry riverbed, and she came across about a dozen kids playing in the, what she thought was playing in the dirt and the rocks. And when she found out what they were doing, when she asked her friend, because they were smashing rocks with mallets and other rocks, her friend told her, no, they're actually not playing, they're working. And she asked her, what do you mean they're working? She says, well, they're breaking the rocks to make gravel to sell so they can eat tonight. That completely devastated Maggie. And she couldn't believe it. And she asked, well, how come they're not in school? Because kids that are poor here in Nepal do not go to school. That little girl, her name is Hema, changed the trajectory of her life. So what she did was she paid out her own money. She spent $28 and enrolled Hema in school. She bought her textbooks, and she bought her a uniform. And it didn't just stop with Hemi. She kept helping one more child, and one more child, and one more child. Before you knew it, everybody in the village was helping everybody. This picture comes from an article called Change the World of a Child in the Blink of an Eye, dated December 9, 2019. Now let's take a look at what Maggie has accomplished. Maggie sees a need and she fills it. Maggie, according to herself in the podcast interview titled Maggie Doyne, Blink Now founder on a Life of Service, Good Life Project dated January 27, 2019. In 2007, she started a children's home, and she started out with $5,000 with a plot of land. In 2010, she started a children's school. In 2013, she started the Women's Center. And in 2017, she started the Big Sisters Home. So in the past few minutes, you met Maggie Doyne. She did indeed help one child, which grew to another, which grew to another, and it grew to a village. This photo, all these photos you see on the slides come from the Blink Now Foundation. This is Maggie today with her baby Ruby and her husband Jeremy. This one really touches me because this is Hemi at 6 years old, and this is Hemi today, which is actually taken in 2017, so it's 3 years old, but you get the point. And that's her co-founder, Mala. And there's Maggie with all her wonderful children. So I'll leave you with a quote of Maggie's on the Blink Now Foundation. In the blink of an eye, we can all make a difference. And I leave you with namaste. Thank you. Perfect.